let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and glades repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes his nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Batik Chamber Singers of the St. Scholastica School of Music, and what a way to start out the week. Alam ko may Halloween pa, pero diretso muna tayo sa Pasko.
Oh yeah, no, forget about Halloween. That was just amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. That was fantastic. We can't wait to hear more of you later on. Of course, we're not going to be done with them anytime soon. And of course, a lot of people also be wondering, saan si Monique? We have a new friend joining us here as well. We're going to talk to her in just a bit too.
Yes.
But first and foremost, good morning, everyone. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another week of exciting episodes here on It's a Beautiful Day.
And I'm Jess Ordonez, sitting in for Monique Tuzan. We've got a great show lined up for you today, packed with interesting topics and lively discussions.
And good morning. I am Anne Asis-Carilo. Grab your coffee, sit back, let's get started and make this a fantastic Monday together. Speaking of coffee, where's our coffee?
Where's our coffee?
It's back upstairs, yeah.
But first and foremost, as well as our friends here from the Batik Chamber Singers, we also have Jess coming in here, sitting in for Mo. First of all, you were a guest here earlier on, and then all of a sudden, after an audition or two, nandito ka na. How does it feel to be sitting in the chair?
Parang yung episode na yun, audition
That was my audition. I actually masterminded the whole thing to quote Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's that. And then for some reason, saan ba si Mo?
Well, she is in Japan.
She's in Japan.
Specifically in front of the Godzilla statue in Shinjuku. Specifically there.
She videoed it.
Yeah.
Specifically, she's there. You know what? I'm jealous. I also want a Gundam when she comes home. All right, first and foremost, let's get the week started by catching up on the latest news. The Philippines has decided to defer the United States' offer to escort its vessels in the West Philippine Sea amid rising tensions with China. National Maritime Council Undersecretary Alexander Lopez emphasized the country's sense of pride and dignity, stating that the government will seek external help only if absolutely necessary. Lopez acknowledged that the U.S. offer remains an option and appreciated the gesture, reinforcing the strong alliance between the two nations. The decision to accept or decline the offer rests with the executive branch, and for now, the government intends to address the issues independently. Earlier, retired Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio urged the Marcos administration to reconsider U.S. support, specifically after the BRP Teresa Magbanua was decommissioned. In August, U.S. Indo-Pacific Commander Admiral Samuel Paparo proposed that American ships could escort Filipino vessels during resupply missions in the West Philippine Sea. This offer followed an incident where the BRP Bagakay and BRP Cape Engaño, both Philippine Coast Guard vessels, sustained structural damage after being rammed by a Chinese Coast Guard ship near Escoda Shoal on August 19. An alleged road rage incident between drivers of a sports car and a luxury sedan escalated into a shooting early Saturday morning in Pasay City. Dashcam footage showed the sedan bumping the sports car, leading to an exchange of gunfire between the passengers of both vehicles. Police arrested 2 Chinese nationals and 1 Filipino from the sedan in Pasay, and 1 Chinese national from the sports car in Parañaque. Other passengers from the sports car are still at large. 1 suspect from the sedan fled the scene, threatened by a bystander with a gun, and stole an e-bike. He was later intercepted by police at a checkpoint in Parañaque. Authorities recovered multiple firearms, ammunition, and various personal items from both vehicles. The Filipino suspect has a firearms license, while the Chinese national will face charges for illegal possession of firearms. No injuries were reported among the passengers or civilians. Police are investigating the backgrounds of the suspects to determine the cause of the incident. Senator Bong Revilla and Interior Local Government Secretary Ben-Hur Abalos visit ex-Vice President and former presidential bet Leni Robredo in Naga City over the weekend during the celebration of the Peña Francia Festival. This comes after incumbent Vice President Sara Duterte paid a personal visit to Robredo, a first since even before 2016. In an earlier statement, Duterte said a friend invited her to her first Peña Francia fiesta. In an exclusive with BNC's Agenda, Robredo's former spokesperson, Barry Gutierrez, also confirmed that the visit was arranged by, quote, a mutual friend of both VPs. Gutierrez said the visit was purely personal, and Duterte and Robredo did not discuss politics. However, he also said that Robredo knows the political context and possible outcomes of the visit. In a more recent video, Robredo says there are no political colors during the celebration of the fiesta, adding that the festival has always welcomed all visitors, even from way back when her late husband, Jesse Robredo, was still mayor in the 1980s.
The Department of Transportation, or DOTR, has delayed the imposition of fines on motorists violating expressway rules in Metro Manila and nearby areas until 2025. This includes penalties for not installing or properly loading radio frequency identification or RFID devices. The Presidential Communications Office announced on social media that this postponement aligns with President Bongbong Marcos's directive to address traffic issues. This is the second time the implementation has been deferred. Last month, the DOTR extended the start date for fines on motorists without RFID stickers or with insufficient toll gate balances from August 31 to October 1. According to a joint memorandum signed by the DOTR and the Land Transportation Office on August 1st, fines were initially set between 1,000 and 5,000 pesos. Motorists who fail to pay these penalties may face suspension of their driver's licenses until the fines are settled. And time for some sports news. The UE Red Warriors standing tall against the De La Salle Green Archers in UAAP Season 87. The Red Warriors upset the defending champs and hand them their first loss of the season on Sunday. Final score, 75-71 at the Mall of Asia Arena. John Abate led the boys from Recto with 20 points as UE rolls to its second straight victory. From the hardcourt to the boxing ring, Melvin Jerusalem remains a champion on home turf. The Filipino boxer defended his WBC minimum weight title Sunday, defeating Mexico's Luis Angel Castillo by unanimous decision in Mandaluyong. And shifting gears to Formula One, triumph for Lando Norris as the McLaren driver reigned supreme in the Singapore Grand Prix. Norris edged out Red Bull's Max Verstappen and his McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri for his third career Grand Prix win.
Moving on to entertainment, new collab alert. Cat's Eye and SB19 surprised their fans with a collab dance to hit P-pop song Gento. That's shortly after the global girl group and the P-pop kings shared a viral dance collab to Cat's Eye's Touch. Cat's Eye visited the Philippines for their fan show held last week. Check this out.
Gento, 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 dito basta bindo. Di mo makumpleto parang bento. Gento, ano kaya mo? Kahit mo kayang bubunan, makakita lang ng ginto. Ginto, kahit na wala pang hinto.
The Victoria's Secret fashion show makes a serious comeback with powerful all-women musical performers. Cher, Tyla, and Lisa were announced to headline the fashion show this year. That's after a 6-year-long hiatus due to dwindling viewership. Lisa recently won Best K-pop at the 2024 VMAs. Cher received the iHeartRadio Music Awards Icon Award earlier this year, while Tyla won the Grammys for Best African Music Performance. Past performers in the coveted runway include Taylor Swift, Rihanna, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars, and Ariana Grande.
Great to see all those performers back. And did you see that little performance we saw a while ago? Kasi si Jess napasayaw sa Gento, right? After
No,
she
I
read
was
the
not
item.
dancing.
Nakita siya on cam.
Alam mo, I was waiting
You
for
have
her to be
no
distracted
video
by her
edit.
boobs.
Oh, I know. She ended up shaking her shoulders a bit there. I saw that.
You
Excited
can't
siya,
lie on
no?
television, no.
Welcome to the show, Jess. Welcome to the show. But of course,
Paolo, aminin mo na, you want to do that
You
dance.
wanted to dance.
no.
Mamaya magti-TikTok tayo.
No, I'm more of a music listener. All right, I'm more of a music listener.
That's not what it looked like
No,
earlier,
kaya I'm
but
really
okay.
happy batig is here, diba? Because I'm here to
yes.
listen to the music. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot in store for all of you because coming up next, we've got more stories for you on the show. Social media star Bogart the Explorer will take us through his new adventure as a college freshman. Catch that interview next and only here on It's a Beautiful Day. Watching It's a Beautiful Day, and of course we have a special guest here today. He is funny, apparently. Our guest today first captured the funny bone of netizens with his quirky take on the urban jungle that is Metro Manila. His social media side quest kept on growing from his viral Bisaya 101 series to even scoring interviews with Hollywood superstars. But the internet's favorite explorer from Davao City is taking on a new and challenging act as a freshman in college. And he's a student in his 40s, ladies and gentlemen. Here to talk about his latest reinvention, live in studio, Marco Antonio Herrera Ho, a.k.a. Bogart the Explorer. Marco, Bogart, thank you very much for joining us here
Thanks for
today.
having me, pal. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so first and foremost, you're a college freshman at 40.
Yeah.
40s. I'm not going to mention what part of 40.
Appreciate that.
But why did you decide to go back to college?
A lot of reasons. Primarily, it was, at this point in my life, I'm not really looking to get a job anymore. Going back to college, it's more of, I really wanted to learn the knowledge that agroforestry was going to provide me in order to build the sort of future that I want to build, not just for me, but for the community where I live in right now in Mindanao.
Agroforestry. So why that's very specific.
That is very specific because you've got agriculture
Yes.
and you've got forestry, and relatively it's a new field, agroforestry. So what that is it's a combination of many disciplines of agriculture when you've got agriculture, the raising of crops for purposes that humans can use, as well as to incorporate that with growing of trees, as well as animals. It's like trifecta of things. So you don't have to do farming like the traditional way of just open fields with just crops, but it can look like an actual forest where you can go in and eat things. And it's sustainable for the environment and for the people growing it.
That is such an interesting course, no? So tell us, Marco, Bogart, how's the day like for you as Bogart the Explorer na estudyante? Yeah.
Yes, well, so I wake up very early in the day because I've also got students myself to send to school.
Okay.
And then I take care of myself. I go to school at 7:30 a.m.
Okay.
So it's like a regular college student talaga. I go to class, everything, all the way to 7:30
Do your
p.m.
classmates get starstruck? Like when they see you, do
No.
they expect you to crack a joke or something?
No, a photo nowadays is usually enough, thank goodness. Because I gotta save the brain cells for the actual thing like Chem 16 and all those things. But yeah, the classmates have been really good, as well as the professors, because some of the professors are either my age or some of them grew up on the stuff that I made as well.
So we did want to ask, so how is it studying with students who are my age?
Wow! You just got here. But how is it studying with students her age?
Well, the great thing is your generation doesn't really differ much from our generation in terms of fashion when it comes to where the school is. Because in the provinces, everybody's just like just like what we used to wear in my generation, like t-shirt, pants, and just very chill about it. So it's not that much of an adjustment. Plus, it's a lot more chiller there in the provinces, so very chill. And the great thing about that, being with youngsters is that they bring in new perspectives, new ideas, fresh energy, something that from people my age and my generation are slowly losing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But apart from that, I take that and I mix it with my real life experiences, and I completely make something new out of it, either for my use now or later on, or for other people to use. It's amazing to be with youngsters, babe.
You know, you said a while ago that one of the reasons why you took up agroforestry is to help the community.
Yeah.
And that is really interesting because now I want to know, what was that issue in the community that made you decide to go take up agroforestry?
Thanks for asking that, Paul. Thing is, my father-in-law is a farmer. Like real life, he's down on the ground, getting his feet muddy, planting the rice himself by hand kind of farmer. And so I've seen the struggles, and you know, us new generation, why don't you do organic farming, save the environment while growing these things? And I see their problems, because if they do that, there's nothing they won't make any, the food won't grow if they don't use the pesticides, you know, if they don't tear up the land and make enough, it's not sustainable for them. I want to come in and bridge the gap between old school farming and modern farming with the new technologies to build sustainable farming, like you said, not just for us, not just for the farmers, but for the environment in the future as well. For the kids who have to live in this world. Population is booming, who's gonna feed them?
Yeah, actually I want to touch on that because there is a statistic that the number of farmers in the Philippines is becoming less and less as the generations go by.
Yeah.
And here you are making farming cool.
Yeah.
Or at least trying to
That's
make
the
farming
hope.
cool. I mean, are you envisioning a future, I hope you don't mind if I put words into your mouth here, or at least the idea, but are you envisioning a future when your content creation and this advocacy of helping empower farmers is actually something you plan to do in the future?
Yeah, too bloody right, that's the direction I'm going.
Ayun na,
lumabas na yung accent. No, because you
You have
touched
to
something
speak like
on,
that for the rest of the show. You can't go back.
because he's touched something I'm really passionate about, you know? But yeah, definitely, I definitely see, because people are gonna ask, okay, so are you done with content creation now that you're a student doing these things, learning these things? Definitely not. You know, I'm just getting started because probably I did in the old days were just some of the stupid things that as a youngster does. It's like, oh, I want to do this. I'd probably look cool on camera. Nowadays, I'm thinking more like content creators like Celine Murillo go out there creating educational content, but making, like you said, making it cool for the kids. Because okay, you want to be a content creator? Be a content creator that actually helps people, you know what I mean? Instead of just making people laugh, which actually helps people sometimes, but you know, the drive to, no, I really want to help people, you know, even though you're already affecting them, but the knowledge that you can provide them if they can grow their own food while sustainable ways, that would be great, not just for them, but for everyone.
Parang na-mature ka na sa content creator, Iba na yung motivation mo.
But you know, I'd love to see that, no? Parang he's farming, nagtatanim siya, and then with that accent.
No, there's a little bit of city boy in me pa rin talaga. I'm gonna probably use technology and let's do the drone, do the doing. The modern ways.
I know, I love that in particular. But then, Jess, I mean, syempre we were talking a bit about how your age in particular would relate to Bogart. But then, you know, Bogart, you take a look at reaching out to the younger generation and your classmates right now. Do you feel that connection, that agroforestry can be cool for this generation?
Oh, definitely, because I've got a bunch of kids in my block, because we're freshmen, right? So we're blockmates, I'm doing the whole thing. It's great because, you know, I see these kids, they come from all different kinds of backgrounds, all kinds of economic backgrounds, and I see that they're all focused on agroforestry, and ask them some of the reasons. Some of the reasons are, you know, probably need a little bit of shaping, because, but right now I'm so hopeful because there's a lot of us studying agroforestry, and these are kids who want to be farmers. And it's amazing now. Okay, good. If we can continue this, but we might want to change some things. Like for example, when going back to school these days, nowadays, it's different from our days. Because Saturday comes around, you're relaxing. Oh yes, the week of school is done. But that's it. You know you're not gonna get anything wrong. But nowadays, you're like, oh, Saturday, group message from the classroom section. Professor says you gotta submit something by Monday.
Iba na now,
They can
it's
reach
more
you.
demanding.
100%. So, Bogart, we're not done with you yet, all right? Because we have him for another one. And for those watching and enjoying this so far, not done yet. For those want to see more, don't go anywhere. You're still watching. It's a beautiful day.
Once is to hear words of the cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, orienting, telling the tune, getting the ring, while people sing songs of the cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Ding, dong, ding, dong, without it. Their joyful dawn on listen on without end their joyful tone to every home. Ding dong, ding dong.
Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Thank you very much again to Nicole Fojeda, Rian Samonte, James Doak, Isaac Iglesias, and Luis Oca, the Batig Chamber Singers of St. Scholastica School of Music. They were the ones who led us out a while ago. Of course, that's the first time we had a guest with Exit Music also, or going to see Bogart the Explorer.
Bogart, iba ka.
Iba to.
This is all especially for him.
Yeah, we have a choir here especially for Bogart. But we're still chatting with the internet's favorite adventurer, Bogart the Explorer from Davao City, a.k.a. Marco Antonio Barrera, Herrera, all of the boxers there. For this segment, we'll put the spotlight on one of his greatest hits, his viral How to Speak Bisaya series. I mean, like, we all know that's part of your background.
Right.
And you like teaching people about our culture, from Hollywood celebrities to the everyman online. But how did this series come about?
Most of the previous content I used to make, like a Philippine snitcha, Philippine squatter. I used to do them because it was the environment that I was immersed in. I was living in these actual places here in Metro Manila, and so that's naturally the inspiration for my content. When I moved back to Mindanao and I was surrounded by Visayas again, naturally I would notice these things. Actually, that's funny. And then most people, when you show them things that are in their faces and then you make them realize, oh, it's been there the whole time. It's funny, actually. You make them realize things. And that's where the inspiration for the series has come from.
Did you expect this to go viral, like to become a hit?
I thought it was pretty funny myself. So I was like, a couple people might find it funny too. Some might even find it corny because it's like some of the humor is like really low lang talaga low hanging fruit kind of humor. But I'm surprised that a lot of people have took to it because sometimes you get Bisayas, but you have Tagalogs that have been in, they know the Bisaya cultural language and they get it, and it's like, oh, it's amazing. And some
You
of
should
the
teach us.
No.
Sample, live session. Good sample.
We'll be your students.
Was it?
Batchmate.
One of the things I did, for example, is when you have one word and then you can just repeat it over and over again because it's like an expression. Now, a lot of people thought that, we've seen this before. Other countries have done it. Like they use one word and then you just change the expression of it in terms of usage. Like one of the videos is the uy video where you say, if you say, oh, this is something new, right? In English, you say, uy. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And if you see someone like really pretty or you have a crush on, you say, ooh, ooh. And if you're gonna tease somebody, in the old days, it used to be, ooh. But now,
In the old days,
yes, they showed it to me. People say now, people say now, ay.
I'm a bit offended that our uy is no longer valid.
But yeah, exactly.
That's automatic.
I put it in the video. It should be uy. You should know where it comes from. The ayi.
The origin story of ayi.
Yeah, it used to be uy. That's where the y comes from.
I mean, look, we've seen you have collabed with a bunch of people already with regards to this series in particular. I mean, nagulat ka bang uy, you didn't expect that you could collab with this person?
Most definitely, brother. Most of them I didn't even think would reply, but I've known them in one capacity or another in the past. Worked with them even like Dong Dantes.
Yeah.
We were in a movie called Tik Tik Aswang Chronicles. And then I had a commercial for a brand with what do you call a lot of the other artists talaga, a lot of brands talaga. So I just messaged them out of the bro, can you just send me a video just real quick. It started in the pandemic because nobody was really doing much anyway. No pressure. And then they all started sending. Some of the really big ones, they would send right away. It's like, oh bro, there's no rush. Oh, thank you.
Because they were fans of you already.
I don't
You're the
I mean,
famous
who'd say
person
no
here.
to Bogart the Explorer,
Exactly.
right?
People would say that. I really don't feel like, wow, these people are replying to me. If you see me in the province talaga ba, it's just, nobody knows who I am, and I love it.
We'll keep you grounded. We won't reply to you.
No. Reply after like 2 days.
No, but all joking aside, so let's use Uy, and let's say you're watching It's a Beautiful Day for the first time.
Right.
How would you describe that using Uy?
It's like, okay. So for example, you're watching it for the first time ever.
And then nandun si Bogart, then may choir siya.
Diba?
yeah.
And then you're like, so what in English it could be, hey, this is something new and interesting. I would really want to watch more.
Okay.
In Filipino, it'd be like this. Oy, oy, oy. Yeah, you get it.
Nalapit pa, no? Or minsan tatas pa yung paa.
Oy, oy, oy.
And it's actually a very tito.
nakita mo ba?
I just saw all my titos flash in front of my
Ay,
eyes.
ay. Well, thankfully for me, I'm like one of those old people with really good eyesight. Sometimes I even beat my classmates because I'm in the back of the classroom. Professor showing the slides in the small TV screen. My classmates would be asking me, ano yung nakasulat dun? And I would tell them, mababasa mo ba yun? But can't you?
And they're gonna
Alam mo kung bakit?
they're gonna go like, oh.
May explanation ako doon kasi dati, I think you were undergrad 2002,
Yes.
right? The very first time you were undergrad. Dati kasi sanay tayo sa OHP eh.
OHP.
OHP, yung projector,
Yes.
that was the acetate.
Yes, yes,
I like how she is so
Acetate.
confused about what an OHP is. Just
Acetate,
acetate
acetate.
pa, yung sulat with a marker.
Ginagamit sa church.
You guys, my goodness.
No, but all joking aside, Bogart, we have a lot to talk about with regards to the content that you're creating, your
yeah.
future, of course. Do you have any future projects already in mind for your particular character, si Bogart?
Yes,
now
most
that you're
definitely.
studying.
Most definitely. So as soon as I learn it, I will apply it. We have land where we are, so I can really, it's like makes my laboratory basically. I've always wanted to be a scientist growing up. That was supposed to be the original course of things. I studied science scholarship, science school, all the way becoming a scientist, making something, a difference in the world. Somehow in the process, I got diverted, but now I'm back on track, and every time I learn something new that's good for the world, even though, I'm just gonna go ahead and teach it.
Bogart, it's such a pleasure having you here. Just so everyone watching at home who already doesn't follow you, who doesn't follow you yet, has to follow you. Can you let them know
Yes,
where to reach out to you?
please. Yeah.
Okay, so you can definitely check out my social media accounts. You've got one on what do you call this? X now, I reckon. And then you've got TikTok, TK, and then you've got Facebook, which is pretty big in the PH. But a lot of other countries probably not so much. But thankfully it is big and it's making me a lot of moolah. Enough for me to go to school. So please do follow me so I can keep going to school and you might learn something new for the world.
Our fourth-year-old freshman. We have Bogart the Explorer joining us here today. Maraming salamat, Bogart. We really
Salamat,
are
Jay.
so
Salamat,
happy having you here.
man.
Thank you so much, Bogart,
That was a really good
for
impression.
joining us here.
Salamat kayo sa iyong kanan. Amping mo.
Now, heads up, voters. 1 week remaining before voter registration ends. We will have that discussion when we return. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Ikindat-kindat, kukurak-kurak, pinaglalaroan ninyong mga mata. Kumukuti-kutita, kumukusik-kusilap, ganyan ang indak ng mga bumbilya. Ikindat-kindat, kukurak-kurak, pinaglalaroan ninyong mga mata. Iba't ibang palamudi, ating isabit sa puno. Buhusan ang mga kulay, tambakan ang mga regalo. Tumitibok-tibok, sumisinok-sinok, biglang malundo sasabitin. Pupulupot-lupot, paikot ng paikot, maranahan ang mararang bituin. Dagdagan mo pa ng kuskuses at guhitan. Habang lalong lumarangin, regalo mo'y dagdagan. Bumuputi-puti na, bumubusi-busila, ganyan ang barang ng mga bituin. Tumitibok-tibok, sumisinok-sinok, unahan mo pa ng malaman.
That was just absolutely breathtaking. Thank you so much, Batig Chamber Singers, for singing us Christmas carols this beautiful Monday morning. We should have them every day, right?
I don't think we can afford to have them because they're not good.
But we need that energy in the morning and it's such beautiful music. Thank you
Paolo said
so much.
something about subbing next time.
No. We're
I think
good.
he's at his performance tomorrow.
The standard will go down very much
You
if
were
I
lip-syncing
come
a
in
while
for
ago,
them.
so you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, since the Commission on Election has already started its preparations for the 2025 midterm elections, here's a little PSA from all of us here at It's a Beautiful Day. Exercise your right to vote. And that begins by signing up to be a voter in your area. If you haven't yet, you only have 7 days left because voter registration will close next Monday, September 30. Are you a registered voter, Pao?
Yeah, so I've been a registered voter for quite a while now, especially
Okay.
since I started working in the media. And just being part of this particular process, I think it's very important for one to exercise the right to vote,
Yes,
to
yes.
understand the platforms and of course the candidates that are actually running for office. Because at the end of the day, the way that our government is run or the way our country is run will be dependent on yung mga boto natin. So it's
That's
really
true.
important to
That's
be
true.
able to come out and be able to take part of the electoral process one way or the other. If I'm not mistaken, Jess, naging poll watcher ka dati, hindi lang voter.
Yes, during the last election, so I was a poll watcher, and honestly, it was such a great experience because you kind of expect it to be. Like, as a poll watcher, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting fights or rambul.
Yeah, but in
it's
some
actually-
places they had that.
In some places,
Yes, yes.
yeah. So I was ready. I had my protective gear. No, I'm joking. I didn't. But I was in my sneakers in case I had to run.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was a very calm process. So there were 2 sets of poll watchers, one for each party. And yeah, it was really just giving each other side eye. That was the most hostility that there was. Aside from that, it was very peaceful, and we got to stay until the very end to see
Yeah.
them counting the votes as
Right,
well.
right.
Perfect.
And,
Yeah, I mean, Anne, you were mentioning to me a while ago that actually you're a fairly recent registered voter.
I feel guilty, but admittedly, the only time I registered was during the last presidential elections.
We encourage everyone
That's
to
true.
go out and register for voting and take part in this electoral process, and of course find out more about all the candidates running, whether it be midterm or national elections, and hopefully we can see more and more in terms of voter turnout as the elections go by. But of course things have changed a bit, especially right now. People
Yeah.
have to focus a lot on voter education, considering
Right, right.
just
Yes,
how
yes.
prevalent social media is in terms
Yes.
of misinformation. We've seen battles
news.
against disinformation in particular.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just really important for people to learn how to be part of this process.
And it's really important for you to go out there and vote, right?
Yeah.
For you to show your love and care for the country because you want to see that hopeful future, right? Yeah. So whoever you're voting for, just go out there and exercise
it.
your right.
Yeah.
But first you need to register.
Yeah.
Yes.
First you need to register.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important because, I don't know, just what's so important as a voter is just really understanding each running person's platform. What
Yeah.
are they advocating
Yes.
for? What are their specific policies? Does it align with what you want for yourself and for your family and
Yeah,
friends?
I mean, beyond the platform as well, because you also need to know more about the candidate,
Right.
their capacity to actually follow through on the promises that they are giving or the platforms that they are running. And of course, apart from whatever history that they may have, and of course whatever whatever platform that they do decide to run on, you also have to look at the community that you're a part of as well. Kaya,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
napaka-importante to go out and register to vote. Things are changing from time to time with regards to the whole process and the political landscape. Things are calming down right now compared to a few years ago, especially with social media becoming a really big source of disinformation. I would like to say that the voter education has done a better job in the sense that people are now more discerning online when looking at certain information. Pero syempre, you can never be too careful with regards to this moving forward because we don't want to be complacent with regards to information.
You really have to be very
Yeah.
careful. Everything that you see online, diba, you have to be able to tell which ones are the false information, right? And everything. You know, I remember the first time I voted, I cried.
Yeah.
As I left the you know, our
Because you're part of the process.
And it felt so different, you know, being able to exercise that right. I felt so emotional, and I was so hopeful for the country. And I was like, oh.
And it was such an empowering experience as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, coming out and being part of the process, I can guarantee you it does feel great. I mean, like, I've also been part of vice presidential debates. I've been able to see town halls as well. So there are other venues for you to actually go out and learn more about the candidates throughout. Of course, our various news organizations all around will have coverage on all of that. Of course, here in Billionaire News Channel, we'll also try and give you the most accurate and the most informed reports on all of the candidates as they do come out. And of course, the coverage as well for the elections. I'm sure it's all set, especially with the great anchors that we do have here in the network. So yeah, I mean, like, it's really important. I mean, like, I know it was your first time last time around, but how important is it for you to continue that in the future?
You know, admittedly, I didn't care before. And then now that I'm actually a registered voter, it makes me feel more like a responsible Filipino, you know, because you want change, you want to see change, you want to see things become better for not just for yourself, but for everyone, right? So it's really very important. September 30, Monday, is the deadline, and I'm glad that, you know, things have been made easier, or it's easier for people now to register, right? Unlike before, I remember there was a time when I was younger, my parents would register to vote, and the lines were so long. But now it's easier.
The process is a bit easier.
Yes, now.
Because even before, that's what would dissuade a lot of people from voting, just the technical difficulties of it all, the hassle.
And seeing those long lines, we're like, oh, it's so discouraging. But now you don't see that anymore. So it's easier for people to register to vote. So you have that, you know, you still have 7 days to do that. That's enough time for you to go out there, go to the nearest Comlec office, right?
Yeah, and of course, right now we're going to be hoping for not only more people coming out to vote, of course, finding out the processes to do it. And of course, we're all hoping for a peaceful elections as well. I think that's number one. I mean, like, you as a poll watcher before was sure to be a part of that experience. And thank you for keeping it safe, helping us keep it safe last time around. Of course, that will do it for this episode of If It's a Beautiful Day. We've reached another great end to an episode of This Morning Show. Hello. Once again, I'm Paolo del Rosario. Thank you for tuning in.
We hope you enjoyed our discussions and had as much fun as we did. I'm Jess Ordonez, and don't forget to follow us on social media for updates and more content.
And I am Anne Asis-Carilo. Have a fantastic week, and we will catch you again tomorrow, only here on
It's a Beautiful Day.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and